All right.
I like the intro.
Yeah, man. I don't think you've ever seen the intro yet, right?
Nope.
Yeah,
I noticed.
Redo it.
Yeah, because I'm missing. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not I will. Well, I mean, you're kind of like you're part of the team. You know what I mean? You are one of the OG with me. So yeah. But for mostly this part is me, Brian, Brandon, and then Will hopefully is coming back pretty soon. Mm-hmm. But we're continuing our I guess tradition at this point, because this is what our fourth year where we're doing fifth year. I
think fifth. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Wow,
so we've been doing
awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing the Oscar things for a while now. Before this was a channel, before our umbrella company Nerd Huddle was a thing, and when it was just me and you, we were doing that.
It was did we become best friends?
Yeah, that was the very first one. So yeah, we wind up deciding to do our Oscar stuff then, which was fun. I think hey, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Bring that down. You couldn't see it. Yeah, appreciate it. I think you were number 690. There you go. Appreciate that. But yeah, so yeah, we've been doing this for a while, which is awesome. Since this is the first one of this season, looking back at some of the other Oscar seasons that we've done, there's some movies that I don't know. I think both of us that we watched that we would have never watched. Some good, some bad, some really bad. So, but I do appreciate it, because a lot of these movies, like both of these movies that we're talking about today, Tar and Women Talking, I don't think I ever would have watched if it wasn't for us doing this channel.
No.
So,
no, yeah. I mean, I would have never watched either of them either. Yeah, nothing pulls me into like, hey, I want to go spend $10 on a ticket and $20 on a bucket of popcorn for a movie. Nothing on this level. So it's nice doing this, because it opens up my mind. It opens up my my palette. Like, hey, why not this, or why not that? Mm-hmm. So, and truth be told, it's a good experience for me. It really is, and I'm sure it's a great experience for you too. So, because what was that movie with Father? I think with
the Father.
The Father.
Yeah,
I would have never saw it in theaters. So that was a great one. That was a great example right there. The drummer. Sound of Metal. Sound of Metal was really good. But on the flip side, we get to watch stuff that like what I don't even remember the name of it now. Roma. Remember the black and white one in like Mexico from like was 60s, 70s? I don't remember. Yeah, that movies like that is like, I hate my life right now. I'm on off this ship. Find another co-caster, whatever.
But then we started doing that. But then we also started to decide to make a little contest. So I just linked it right now. It's pinned to YouTube. Anybody who wants to go and vote, so you vote for your Oscar winners. Whoever gets the most right, we'll probably do a little prize or something like that, if we get enough people actually joining in. I think if we get at least 10 people joining in, then we'll do like a gift card or something.
Yeah.
So I think right now there's only one person that responded.
Mm-hmm. And that's not me.
Yeah, no, we won't enter in for that. No. But I think we will give our predictions of everything. But right now, we're just gonna do 2 movies a week. for the 2023 Oscar nominated Best Pictures. So we're going to do 2 this week and then all the way up to the Oscars. And then the Friday before the Oscars, we'll probably have one final show and we'll talk about all the other categories as well. And then kind of give our predictions. And then the Oscars happen like 2 days later. So
how many movies are there? 10?
10. So there's 10 now. There used to be only 5. They expanded it to 10. There's still 5 of all the other categories, which I get it, but I don't know. I feel like there should be 10. But right there's our link to our Google form, and you can pick the winners. And then once the Oscars happen, we'll see who gets the most right, and then see who is the winner for this year. So that's always pretty fun that we've been doing that. But cool, man. You ready to start the first movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The unlucky one first.
yeah, we'll do that one first. So we'll start off with Tar, starring Cate Blanchett. What else? I think she's really the only big name. Mark Strong is in it. But it's really just her. Is it Mark Strong? I believe his name is.
He's the guy from
Mark Strong. He played Elliot. He was in there for like 2 scenes, which is weird.
Yeah.
Kingsman. He was in the Kingsman.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah. But besides that, there's really no other big names.
No.
I mean, there really isn't.
No, I mean, Cate Blanchett didn't look like Cate Blanchett. She looked a lot different. And that's surprising me. So I did not see anything else in this movie. I was in band in high school. Mm-hmm. And in one of the courses I had to take was like conductors. So everything she was explaining, I understood. But I guess as a professional and does it for a living is a whole new level to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Like the tempo and the beat. All I understood, you just follow the beat. And that was it. With the little sticky thing. I can't remember the name of it. The baton, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, no shit, right? I accidentally turned someone into a snail. Anyway, I understood some parts of the movie, but like it was like a whole new level for me. You know, I was a novice. This is actually elite pro level, what she's talking about, and like I never really understood it. Maybe that's why I failed the class. I never really understood it. Where you set the tempo, whatever. I always thought like just follow the beat, make sure the beat's on cue, and that was about it. It was a big eye opener for me because it was very hard for me to follow. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But just like real quick synopsis, I know we were kind of touching to the main character. Her name is Lydia Tar. So that's why it's called Tar. But Lydia is days away from recording the symphony that will elevate her career to like being this, next level maestro kind of conductor. But then elements seem to conspire against her, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, without getting into too many details. Are you?
No, Brian. No, I'm not. I got a cold basement. You know this.
Yeah, that's why he has the Aztec or the Aztec calendar behind him. Like if you think of
think of winter, think of summer. Yeah,
summer, like Mexico, Central American.
Yeah,
it's a few warmer.
Yeah, if you look closely, this guy is like breathing cold air right next to the football guy. Yeah.
But yeah, man, like the movie starts off with her like career being summed up, and she's done all this like crazy musical kind of stuff, and polar bear in my butt. There you go. So Panda.
That's our Panda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Polar bear is Marvin.
Yeah, right. But yeah, she's just it came off right off the bat, super pretentious, just so far up her own butt, Because then she was talking about like time, like, as being a conductor, you're in charge of the time of the music. And like you said, I did band as well, you know, like elementary school going into high school, I did it. And I never got that from the conductor. The conductor helps you understand how things need to sound, but music already is timed, you know. Right. So like that whole like that whole speech she gave about like, oh, I'm the one that controls time for the music. Like, no, you don't. The music itself controls the time, right? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it's a different level of like being professional, like you said. But I was like, there's time. Like, you know, she's like, oh, we can stop it. I was like, no, you can't. Because once it starts, you start it. That I get it. But it was like, once you start it, it goes. Yeah. You know, and things stop because the music is said to stop. But the time still goes because then it needs to pick up again. You can't sit there and like, and now we're starting back again. Like, no, if it says, you know, you get a 3-bar break, then you get a 3-bar break. You don't get a 5-bar because she wants to extend it. Like, that's not how it works, you know? So I don't know. It just, she seemed very, very pretentious. And by the end of the movie, I'm like, why? I don't feel sorry for her. I don't. Like, I was like, you're a jackass. And because what, she's a lesbian? I'm like, you're still a person in power that used that power to manipulate and get things that you wanted, you know, mostly sexually, you know? So I was like, you suck. You suck as a person. You know, you're super pretentious. You surround yourself by other pretentious people. Like, I don't care. It's not relatable. I think that's what it is. Like, I can't relate. The music is fine. I love music, and I'm not dissing that. But it's just like, she just seemed like that whole speech in the beginning, you know, that kind of came back and bit her in the butt in the classroom. I get what she was saying, but I'm like, but you're doing it like an asshole. You know? Yeah. You know, and that's why, you know, I get, because younger kids have different ideas of things, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I think they were trying to touch on that too, you know, like separating the artist and the art, you know, is sometimes hard to do, especially when you're younger, and it kind of blends together, especially with social media now, where, you know, you can't separate the art and the artist because it's more molded together than ever. You know what I mean? Like back then, Beethoven and Bach, you're able, because like, you know, their personal life were their personal life, but what they did professionally was like their art. And that's what she was trying to get at. But he's like, yeah, but you know, everyone's screwed. You know, I get what she was doing, but she did it in an asshole way.
Right. She was like, it's my way is the only way you should learn, or my way is the best way there is. There's, you know, she was trying to, I don't know, correct.
I think she was trying to open their minds, but they were
really against it because it was going against what they believe in. They were going against what they thought was best. And I understand she's teaching them.
What's up, Derpy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I forgot what school they were at, but it was like a high end, super high professional, like school. Musical school.
Right. And I understand what she's trying to do to them, but she approached it the incorrect way. She was shutting down minds instead of opening them.
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
So, and that was bad. Like, the very beginning, she insulted the student, like, multiple times. And he was like, you know, you're a bitch. You know, close the piano, you're a bitch. You know, you're an asshole, whatever. And then she continued talking down to him. Yeah. I'm like, what kind of stuff is that? Just because you're, man, this movie was really odd because it's a teacher. You need to open up their minds and shut him down. And it really bothered me, really rubbed me the wrong way. It really did.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a true belief that there's more than one way to tie a shoe, you know, and if you tie it a certain way, if it's wrong, if you're not enough, then you know what? It's practice. You do it the right way, or find another way. It's more than one way to tie a knot. I think they got a rope or some shit like that. Yeah. But so I mean, this lady was really tunnel minded, and that's it. Her way, that's it.
Yeah.
So,
like, now, like, after watching the whole movie, like, and going back to that scene, I think she was like, because the students were saying like, hey, who is it? Mozart. Yeah, he made music, but also he was a shitty person outside. I forgot what they said. They're like he had a bunch of kids or he had mistresses, whatever,
Yeah.
you know. So it was like he did mess up stuff. But she was saying like, don't look at that, right? But that's only because she's putting her, and she even tried doing it to the student, right? Like, oh, look at you, like, yeah, you're this and you're that, but you like this person, like, why? Because she's a great musician or because she's pretty, you know what I mean? So he's kind of like, everyone has that flaw.
Right.
But looking at her, she's kind of doing it to herself. She's like, look at my work. Don't look at how shitty of a person I am, how I manipulate people to get sex, and how I take advantage of all these people and this and that. So it's like she's trying to justify her being great while also like being a shitty person. Like, and I don't know if you could do that in today's world like that anymore, just because everyone's puts themselves out there so much like they used to. You know, before you didn't know anything about actors and musicians. Now you know exactly what they feel like at any given moment because they put it out on Twitter or, you know, wherever else. So right. It's just, first of all, this movie was over 2.5 hours. Jesus, man. Jesus. Like legit. I was like an hour and a half in. I'm like, oh my God, we're not even to the main part yet.
Yeah, I only managed to watch an hour and a half of it. Then I'm like, okay, I can't. I just can't. It's one of those movies that I had to stop. Like, what was the movie last year? With the lady living out of the van.
Oh that yeah, the one that won the Oscar.
Oh yes.
I forgot what it was close.
But anyways, that was horrible. So I'm assuming if every year there's that one movie that I don't like wins an award. Wins it.
Yeah.
So this might be a front runner.
It could be.
So we have to wait and see about this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to grade it or do you want to do that in the show?
Well, we usually do our now, later, never.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So since it's being a little bit different, since we're only talking about Oscar Best Picture nominated movies, so somebody thinks it's one of the best movies of the year, like the critics and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think we should do like, does it deserve to be on this list rather than now, later, never? Like, is this one of the top 10 best movies that came out in 2022? I think that's a better, instead of now, later, never, our normal kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Is that you want me to answer that now or
later? Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. We already kind of
trashed it a
little bit.
No. Top 10, no.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is so long, and even like I said, I kind of knew what she was talking about, but she over-exaggerated, or in my knowledge, she over-exaggerated. No, It was too long, too long. I mean, it was. If they would have cut it back some, it would have been best. But I don't understand the reasoning behind it being so long, talking about music or talking about herself, and that's what it boils down to, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Brian asks, was Cate Blanchett at least good?
For an asshole, yes. She was a good asshole.
The only problem is like it was just her. This movie was just her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking back. I think every single scene is her. Did they do a scene where it was some of the side characters without her?
No.
I'm trying to remember.
A lot of it was with the assistant, and a lot of it was with the other dude from. Well, that guy only showed up like
twice. The young celloist was in it quite often. Yeah. You know, it kind of keeps cutting back to her freaking out. I mean, she was, I guess, okay. To me, this was not her best performance, for me at least. She's nominated for Best Actress in this for this role.
That That I could see.
You know, but I mean, she's done other great things. Lord of the Rings. She was Thor Ragnarok. I think she was a great. Nightmare Alley was one, you know, that I thought was really great. She's been in other things that are amazing. This one, I don't know. It's a biopic. I heard Lydia Tarr was a piece of work too. Is it a biopic? If it is, Lydia Tarr is kind of a shitty person, super shitty person.
Yeah,
you know. But it's just she's a person with power who's in charge and uses that to get the sex she wants from the younger people that want to come up the ladder. You know, so I mean, and we've seen that a bazillion times in a bazillion different movies and shows. You know, you know, it's just kind of how, like, in real life too. You know, but I guess she was okay. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, she did win an EGOT. You know, so Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. What EGOT is. In there, I don't know if it's a real person or not. I didn't even bother to look that up. But she's, you know, this whole character is like this the best thing around, you know, as it comes to like
they did mention that. EGOT. Lydia Tarr did win an EGOT.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you didn't know.
Well, I don't know if because Brian's saying like it's a biopic. I didn't know it was a biopic. You know, because usually when a movie comes out, I'm like, oh, cool, I want to look more into this movie. This movie didn't make me do that.
Right.
So Tar is not based on a real person. So even though Lydia's fall from grace in Tar seems real, the movie is not based on a real orchestra conductor's life. However, it is easy to be tricked by Tar's marketing and demeanor that ingeniously sells it as an Elvis-esque music biopic. So it is not a biopic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Patrick was.
Yeah.
So this is about a fiction movie.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems like it could be real, but it's just, you know, it's not.
So what do you think? Top 10?
She definitely existed. I don't know, man. I'm looking at like 4 different sites that are all saying she's not. Yeah. You know, a fictional is not a real person, not a real person. Like literally every single site is like not a real person, not a real person, not a real person, not a real person. But yeah, I don't think it's one of the best. I don't think it's a top 10 movie. I don't think it deserves an Oscar. Like it was boring, man. You know, like it just seemed like a few weeks in a person's life that happens to be really famous. You know, it's like maybe if you're into a lot of the music, I was trying to get into it, but she just seemed so up her own ass. Yeah. Even when the music parts were happening, I was like, "Oh, you're just like a piece of shit." Like you know. So even when she was doing the practicing rehearsals with the orchestra, you know, building up, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll like this." But then it veered off the music part and was doing. And then she's in there. She's like, "Oh, you need to go da da da, not da da da." I was like, "What the fuck are you saying?" That it was so annoying, you know. And she was just doing stuff where I was just like, no one does this in real life, and if you do, like, no one wants to work with you. You know, not it's not like how it was like back in the day where like you're the only person that can do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like even in the show, like in the movie with the young celloist she was having like dinner with, and the young celloist said something like, "Oh, I like this person," you know, and she's like, "Oh, what album?" She goes, "Oh, YouTube." I was like, yeah. Like that's how people find things now. Like on the internet, they don't like go to the record store like that anymore, or you know, like they find things on YouTube.
Yeah, and they order it on Amazon.
Yeah, and play it on their phone. Like they there's no physical like that anymore. And it's just, she just seemed like I don't know how to say it, but she seemed like a boomer doing boomer shit, and it's the world that she's not used to anymore. Right. You know, and at first you're like, oh, she didn't do this, but I was like, oh, you did do this. You're the reason why this person did that. You're the reason why this person quit. That you suck. You suck. Right. You know, and I don't know, because at the end I don't feel sorry for her, and I don't know, the whole time I didn't feel sorry for her. You get more and more mad at her. You know, as the movie goes.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, because then you start finding out more stuff, and then you find out it's true, you know, and I don't know. It was just not good. But we're not voting for Oscars and stuff like that. On Rotten Tomatoes, guess what the critics gave it? It's 307 reviews. Critics reviews.
I don't know, man, because I can't really trust Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna give it. I don't know. Is it like
the critics? Yeah, it's a percentage. So with Rotten Tomatoes, there's a critic score, which you have to be kind of affiliated with some kind of critic connection.
Is it like 1 to 10 or like
100%? 100%.
Okay. I want to say 83.
Okay. That's not too bad. The critics gave it a 91.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which is definitely one of Brian right there. 91, man. 91. The audience, there's only 250 plus audience scores. It you have to be verified, so it's not as meaningful. But the audience gave it a 73 still.
Oh wow.
Which is still really high. Really, really high. Because mine would be way, way lower. Way lower. Way lower. Yeah. Yeah, so it that kind of just like really
how about can we give it a green tomato where tomatoes not even ripe yet?
Well, that's where they have like the splot where it's like rotten. The actual tomato rotten.
Oh, nice.
But so many people just like agree, you know, it's like a film that swims against the current. I don't know what the fuck that means, you know, but whatever. You know, like after 16 years, Todd Field was able to come back and make something that feels so relevant and so necessary. Here's this. In playing a genius, Kate has created an act of genius herself. That just alone sounds so fucking pretentious. In a career, right?
Lydia wrote that herself. Lydia wrote that.
In a career defined by exhilarating work, the Academy Award-winning actress creates a what's that? Sorry, man. I'm like so far from the computer. Forensic portrait of an artist. I know, man. I need better classes. That may be very earn her third Oscar. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Also, there was that one last year that we didn't get, and people loved it.
Yeah.
Was it Licorice Pizza? Licorice Pizza.
Licorice. Well,
I think we both like. I don't get it.
Licorice.
People are like,
yeah. I don't know. It was the. Got it. It hits that one word, but it's like not motivation. It's Jesus Christ. I can't remember.
It just ran in place, but yeah. But I mean, so many people fucking just all the critics. That's insane. You know. But hey, Brian, I fell asleep 3 times trying to watch it. I know Conductor's gonna be awful, but she takes the cake. Yeah. You know, because a lot of these conductors do feel like. You know, like, this is my world. I create it. It was like, shut up.
All you do is shake the wand, pretend you're a wizard.
Yeah. But,
anyway.
Yeah. But, so obviously this is our first movie, so we can't rank it against anything else. But for me, this is this is the worst. You know, I don't know if any of these other ones can be as bad. You know, already knowing, like, just seeing for my pleasure some of the other movies out that we're going to talk about in the upcoming weeks. I know those are better. So for me, this is definitely at the bottom right now. So I'm definitely putting this number 10.
Yes.
You know,
number 10.
Definitely number 10. But yeah, anything else on it, man? Trying to think of anything else.
If you're having trouble going to sleep, watch this movie.
What write it down.
I mean, if you got 2.5 hours to spare, like you have nothing better to do, this is a movie you want to go to sleep with. Honestly,
yeah.
I tried and I failed. I failed miserably, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was hard to get through, man. And some of our other kind of friends of the channel, like Zach Attacks, who will be joining us in the upcoming weeks with some of these other movies, I believe, as well. He is somebody who is pretty positive on a lot of stuff. Like, he tends to find things that stuff like we didn't like when we did a review and he talked about, he liked. But even him said this movie sucked. So even from somebody who's very positive and always finds like good things about movies, he even was like, yeah, no, this is a no for me. So that kind of tells you, man.
I'll do the next show, man, not this one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, man. So if you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna talk about what else we talk. Women Talking is gonna be our second movie for the night. But if you're watching on replay, because I am gonna cut these up. If you're watching on replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Tar. Is it good? Are we missing something? Are we the dummies? Like,
right.
You know, like, so just leave a comment and let us know what you guys think about Tar and Cate Blanchett in it. But that being said, there you go, Brian. Like it over on Facebook.
Yep.
But let's move on to our other movie of the night. All right. So let's get right into it. The second movie that we were watching this week is Women Talking. Very different, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a good word to put Women Talking, because I did like it right off the bat. Hard to watch. I won't say theme. The center problem is a very difficult one to talk about.
Right.
I think.
Which makes a lot of
especially
sense.
As two men, as two straight men, it is a very difficult thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the synopsis?
Give me a second. Brought it up earlier. I think I did have it.
I mean, I can read it. I got it right here in front of me.
Oh, if you got it, yeah, go for it, man.
The women of an isolated religious colony revealed a shocking secret about the colony's men. For years, the men have occasionally drugged the women and raped them. The truth comes out. The women talk about their new situation. Yeah. So, if I drug a lady, do they have to forgive me?
I mean, if you live in this colony, yes.
Yeah, it's odd, Kramer. It's very odd. Like the very beginning, I found a little bit relieved. Like, because I don't want to read the very beginning. The lady attacks one of the guys, like goes in the shed and swipes down somebody. I don't know if she killed him or injured him. I don't think because he got arrested, so probably injured him, but didn't kill him. At the very least, it was crazy. It was nuts. And one thing, okay, so if you watch this movie in black and white and you listen to the storyline, it could potentially become a horror flick. Like the women go to sleep, wake up bloody and raped and molested. Yeah. So it can like actually could turn into that. And to these women, these are their nightmare. Because if you're a woman, you really want to go to sleep if knowing that your friend, your sister got raped in the middle of the night? No, you really don't. So how can you live your life? And this is really troublesome because you got people out there doing this kind of stuff. And it really bothers me. And this isn't like based 1960. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2010. Well, somewhere I think they said somewhere between 2005 and 2010. No, it was 2010. Or 2010. Yeah, it was 2010 because there was a truck saying 2010 census. Yes, which threw me off because I thought this was
set like back in the day.
I did
but
too.
Then
it was
then you
Amish,
find out,
it was an Amish
a Mennonite colony. Yeah. So, but yeah. So I was like, because you really don't know that until one part of the movie with the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, there's a car with speakers and they're playing. What are they playing?
We have joy,
Daydream Believer.
Yeah.
I forgot who the Daydream Believer, but yeah. Which also is like kind of trippy because of what the song is like, Daydream Believer. So these women thinking they could actually change the men in this colony. And right off the bat, it also says like this didn't actually happen. This was like what did it say? Something along like this is like a fictional conversation of women.
Yeah,
something. It was yeah. So like right off the bat, it told you like this isn't true. Like this hasn't happened. This won't happen. Kind of situation. So you're kind of like, okay, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Where's it gonna be used on YouTube? Is that what you said? Yeah. But that's. I mean, we're critically talking about this movie, and that's a big part of it. But yeah, the R word, I guess, what a lot of people.
I said the R word.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm probably gonna say it a few times as well because I mean it's something YouTube doesn't like it because of what it is. It's it is something that's bad, but the word itself isn't bad, and I mean it's the action of it is bad. It's all kind of effed up.
Right.
But obviously I'm gonna it's literally part of the plot. It's these women are not educated, so they can't read or write, and they even the narrator said like, but that night we learned how to vote, and they literally drew pictures. They drew pictures like, do we stay? So they drew like the field and home. Do we fight? And they showed like them stabbing the men, or do we run? When they show like the horse,
the rear of the horse.
Yeah. And they had a vote, and then all the women went in there and just kind of like put an X by whatever picture. And obviously, the two, the fight and run were definitely the two most voted for. I think Stay had like a couple X's,
right.
But yeah, but it was definitely like the whole movie had a very like because these women had to figure out what to do with all the women in this colony. So, and it was just like, what do we do? So it was very democratic in a sense because they all had to agree on it. So it reminded me of very like political kind of stuff, like that. So, but yeah. So this one, I am looking. So between 2005, 2009, between those years, 150 women and young girls were drugged and raped by men in their community in Bolivia. So this is kind of loosely based on that, but and it's a Canadian writer, this is like one of her novels. But man, yeah, I mean, it was hard to watch. It was hard for me, man. It was hard to watch.
It's extremely hard to watch. There's like, I don't know. Like we were discussing before we even went on air, that one scene, with the sick girl, the little sick girl.
Yeah, a 4-year-old.
A 4-year-old.
Ugh.
It was that shit like that. I mean, I don't know. That really. I'm a father of a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So of a little girl. Some of you guys already know this, but shit like that is like. I don't know. It's like I'm confused, lost, angry, all at once, and there's a lot more emotions to it. And these are just women. Now, if you're a woman, what can you do? Because you have to forgive them. If not, if you die, you're not going to be allowed in heaven. But okay, so now spiritually, you're not only being attacked physically, now spiritually. So what can you do? Honestly.
Yeah. And in the movie you had the one woman who was just like no, let's stay and fight and like pretty much like kill them all, or kind of attitude. You had another one that said like let's run. You had another one that says like, oh, let's have the men change, and then there's another argument that came up. It was like, oh, what about if the men leave, and like in my head the whole time I'm like none of it, like staying and fighting, maybe because like obviously the women make the food because that's what they're told to do. So you can easily kill like all the men in one night, like pretty easy, like very, very, very easy, because they all probably eat around the same time. And so like to me, I was like that never really came up if I remember with it, but I thought leaving, I was like, just leave, like, you also run the risk of like them coming back and finding. But it was an interesting conversation, because I feel like this is like something that a lot of women obviously are not in that exact position, but in a position of like domestic violence, they're stuck at home, other kind of rape victims and stuff like that. Is like here you have a group of, what was it, like 10 or 12, 15 maybe women in the barn trying to figure out
what to do,
where a lot of times it's probably just in your head, in some of these women's heads, like, what do I do? Do I go to police? What if it's like it's my boss, or it's my uncle, or it's like God forbid, like somebody in the family, stuff like that. There's a lot of like things that I'm sure like this is do like what do I do? So
but you made up a good point, because they make the food, and like you said, they could have. That's the one episode, Game of Thrones kind of thing. Put poison with the poison wine. Everybody drinks it. They all die at once.
Yeah.
So they could have been easily done that way, and I think if that scene would have been in there, or something, it would have been like justice, and I wouldn't have been upset.
Yeah.
Honestly. I would have been upset, honestly, because these women eventually will have to do the fields and do the hard manual labor that the guys would do. And I mean, there was one or two of them. One was like really strong-minded and strong-willed. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll just go on. We'll just do it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
That's all you basically need, is someone to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if that little scene was in there, it would have been like a little justice. I don't think anybody would have been upset.
Well, I'm sure there's some people like that would have been upset. Some dickhead people in the world. But I think but like for me, for sure, I feel like that would have been a better resolution, because there's secret, especially towards the end, especially after that scene with the 4-year-old, because then it's also with the 4-year-old. Oh man, like I don't want to talk about too much about that, but obviously the topic we're talking about, you can guess what happens with a 4-year-old. And I think a lot of the women in the colony, like, that was the moment too. They're like, oh, okay, this is like what the F, what are we doing? And for me, I wanted to kill everybody. I'm like, just kill them. I mean, it can't be that hard, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some herbs that you can pick from flowers or drugs or whatever. I'm sure you can easily do it. Because what are you gonna do? Pack up everything, and then leave them? But also they're also very religious, so killing is a big no-no. They're already worried that the men won't forgive them, so they can't make it into heaven. The men forgive them. Think about that for a second. It's insane. So killing was never really talked about as much. But for me, I would have been like, kill them all. Yeah. Kill them all. Who gives a shit? And then August brought up the point, is like, well, you can raise the young men, the boys, and raise them right, and teach them to so. I'm gonna watch Pascal on SNL in a little bit. But yeah. And then Brian, I'll kill them with my bare hands.
Pun intended.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's the issue. Is like all the men were okay with it. You know what I mean? Like they were okay with it, and it was hard, man. It was hard. It was hard knowing that this is stuff that actually happens, and it was I you for me as like you want to like cry, angry, punch. I just like punch the wall. I was like, why is this like so loud? It's just so frustrated. Yeah, frustrated.
Yeah, it's a harsh reality, and like I said, someone athlete, that lacrosse player, actually did something similar to this.
Well,
when I saw that, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, he basically got off.
So did the guys in this movie. That's why he had like similarities.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a slap on the wrist, and now I know it's way off the topic, but he's trying to get it expunged from his record, which is
he'll get it. He'll get it.
Yeah, I don't know if was he a swimmer? No, he was a swimmer, not like lacrosse.
I thought he was lacrosse.
I think he was a swimmer. I'm trying to think of his name. I mean, there were lacrosse people. I'm sure there's just a lot of guys that do it. But yeah, man. The actresses were great. I'm trying to like stay on on that topic. The actresses were great.
Yeah,
they all had different personalities. I think Frances McDormand was in it. Who she's a great actress. I liked her character in here, but there was a lot of great acting, and it was all, I think, besides August, who was the one guy, every other line was women. It was legit like all women, in almost all the scenes. They would show some of the younger boys. I think they showed a few of the men.
Yeah,
but it was all the women in this one.
Showed a lot of kids. Male kids.
Yeah, even little girls. There were the two little girls in the barn talking, but they were like young, so their attention wasn't as focused as some of the older women.
Right.
We had more emotions. Also, the older women had kids, where the younger girls, didn't have kids. So like, I don't say they have less skin in on it, but they just don't have that mindset yet of protecting, not only me, but my kids as well. Like Brian said, I'm gonna kill somebody. So yeah. Story was good. Story was interesting. It was very, very, puts a lot of things in perspective, like of what women think about on a daily basis, especially like victims of this. But I don't know. What do you think? Anything stood out?
A lot of things stood out. A lot of things that they're based on religion and your upbringing. It seems like they're being held back what they actually potentially can do. And that's all because of their religion. And no matter what happens, and like once again, this is 2010. Because if this is 1960, 1970, I can understand a little bit more, but this is 2010 now, so a lot's changed from that. And the fact that they have to forgive the men, where the men have to forgive them, so therefore they could die and go to heaven, is really odd. And it's almost like a cult kind of thing, where it's freaky. It's freaky. I mean, outside looking in, it's like, what the hell are you doing? But from inside looking out, I never been there. Okay, I never been there. I never been in that situation. Thank God. And as far as females goes, it probably puts back female power a lot. It probably, it hurts them, because you have guys out there like, see, this is the way it should be. This is the way life should be. Like this colony. That's how all women should be. And the truth of the matter is, it's not. not supposed to be that way at all. And this is my opinion. I'm sure people have different opinions, and that's fine. But this is my opinion. So please don't attack me or from my friends, family, whatever, or the show. But this is really, it hurts. It hurts so much to see something like this. Because yes, it's life and this happens in the world. Just the fact that it hurts the women. The women gets kicked back, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're the victims, and then as soon as they try to retaliate in any kind of way, obviously the mother that went to go attack it was a young, I don't remember, but I think it was a young boy, like maybe like a older teenager that she attacked, that when she found out raped her daughter. She went at it with like a sickle, I think it was, right? Or that little hook thing, whatever. And yeah, man, she was going to kill him. She was going to kill him. And then men had to hold her down. And then she's not only the victim now, but also like the problem. Like, no, it was your fault. And that's always the thing we always hear all the time. It's like whenever you hear like any kind of rape issue, it's like, well, what was she wearing? Like, what? That's the question you want to ask? Right. So, like, oh, was she drunk? I was like, and then same thing with this, it's like, like, oh, the men could do whatever they want because they're men, and it was like, yeah, it's just, it's like you said, it's rough, and it's annoying.
It is
to know. Yeah. Oh man. But so before we get into like, does this deserve to be on this the best picture list? The critics, there's only 217 critics give it a 90%. So it's right up there with Tar. It's actually one below Tar, which is kind of crazy for me. Yeah. And then the audience score, although this, I didn't see any promotions at all. Like none. The first time of me hearing this movie was because of it being nominated. Like I never heard any commercials, any posters, anybody anywhere talking about this movie. So, yeah. I know it's like more indie, I guess, but
right.
But the audience scored 100 verified rating audience score, gave it 80%.
Wow.
So they're fairly close.
Fairly close to Tar.
Tar
at 78,
73, I think.
Oh, 73. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 79.
Yeah, I don't remember. But the critics said, while Women Talking sometimes forsakes entertaining drama in favor of simply getting the points across, its message is valuable and effectively delivered. 100% agreed with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think so, because it doesn't really hide the fact of this is what we're talking about. How do we handle what we talk about? And it doesn't really get into any other like drama or stuff like that. Like right. It just stays on topic, and it hits hard, man. It hits hard. So, but with that being said, where are you gonna put this? Does this deserve to be on the best pictures of 2022 list?
I'm gonna say yes. It's a disgusting, horrifying topic and truth that's out there that people turn a blind eye to, or the other cheek, whatever they say. But yes, I would strongly believe it does deserve a top 10. It'll be low on the 10, considering I have not seen any of the movie yet. So it's going to be low on the top 10 as of right now. Of course, shit would change in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, it's a good movie. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but maybe it's a movie you should watch with children, male and female, boys and girls, just to say, hey, see what happened? That is not right. That is not right. If anybody touches you in a certain way, or if that ever happens, you come let me know.
Yeah.
Just have them aware. Open up.
It is a PG-13 rating. For the very intense subject that they talk about, it's only PG-13, which, like you said, I think that's good. Young maybe depends on your kid, but I think like a teenage for sure. for sure, like teenage. And that's even a point that they bring up in the movie is like, well, if we leave, which kids do we bring with? Do we bring all our boys? What, you know, and the whole topic is like, well, 12 and under. If your boy is 12 and under, well, what about 13? You know, it's like, and that it's kind of that's like a whole issue with like the censorship of, you know, or the ratings, you know, PG-13. But I think PG-13 is a good rating for it, you know, because I do think along with you, like some younger people should watch it, you know, maybe like just understand, you know what I mean, like, man, like this happens in the world, you know, and like you said, you have a daughter, so it's a very different conversation that you with a daughter and other people with daughters need to have of like, hey, you know, you need to look out for this or you need to look out for that, you know, like you gotta like have them be self-defense all the time, you know, which is annoying. And then I have a son, so like my conversation with it is very different. Like, hey, don't do this. Don't be a piece of crap. You know, don't do that. It's like, come on, man. Like, you know, consent and all this other, you know, like stuff that should happen. So, you know, I mean, it is definitely good, I think, for younger girls and boys to watch it to understand. Like, man, you know, granted, these are people not living in our society because they're Mennonites, but it doesn't change the fact that this happens in our society. You know, so. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. It is rough.
But you're putting it on the list. I'm not putting it on the list. It's a great movie, and I think a lot of people should watch it. As many people should watch it as much as possible. I don't consider it one of the better movies of the year. It doesn't have one of the best messages and one of the best message, I guess. I don't know. To be told than in any other movie.
It's a sensitive topic. Sorry, my bad.
It is. No, it's all good.
It's a really sensitive topic. It's a subject. That's why the only reason is on the list, top 10, just for educational purposes. That's the only reason I kind of want to say, because it's something they need to be aware of, and from, you know, having a little girl, something that she needs to be aware of. And I think us as adults, we already know better because we've heard it, we've lived through it, not lived through it, but we heard of it, and we've seen people, we've seen movies. But as a little girl, they don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. I mean, they think it's fun and games. They think it's a toy. They think this is what they naturally do. But that's not the case. That's not the point. You know, this is something that needs to show awareness, and this is why it's on the list. So, like I said, it's more of an educational purpose for me and on my end. But
yeah. I mean, I can see why the ratings are so high, because for sure, you know. Yeah. But like for me, I think it's a movie everyone should watch. I'm not gonna put it as one of the best movies of the year, but that doesn't mean it's not a good movie. You know, because I think it is a good movie, and a lot of people should watch it. Right. You know, especially if you have younger kids. You know, if that's a subject you want to get into, this might be a little rough at first, but you know, it's a topic that, you know, people need to talk about, especially with their kids. You know what I mean? And that's a big issue in this movie. Is like, what do we do with our kids? You know, what do we do with their little boys? Can they be retrained? You know, can they stop being little, you know, dickheads and you know, touching girls when they shouldn't and stuff like that?
Right, so, exactly. And then that's what it stems from the parents, you know. And this is where I think something like this is, you know, like I said, educational.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's important to,
it is.
You know, it's you know, everyone always talks about the birds and bees, you know, kind of conversation. You know, this should be there as well. You know, it's something like this. You know, like consent, respect, self autonomy, and you know, all that like stuff. You know, that, you know, certain people want to say it's woke or whatever the hell they want to say, but you know, I think it's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I think that's it for Women Talking. Like I said, I think we both liked it. You know, I think we both enjoyed it for what it was. You know, but oh man. So if you're watching live, this is gonna be our, like, honestly, artsy fartsy kind of movies, but definitely our movies that are more not just serious, but have like a deep message and very artsy. If you find Tar artsy as well, this one is one of those message movies. I think every year has one, like a message about something, either, but oh man, definitely a rough one to watch, but much needed. But yeah, man, so that's what we think about Women Talking. We just did Tar, so I'll make sure I'll link a Tar to that as well. And going forward, we're going to do every Friday, we're going to do 2 more movies of the best nominated pictures of 2023 going into the Oscars. I think Oscars is March 12th or 13th, whatever that Sunday is. So we still got a bunch of other movies. We got Avatar, Top Gun, Maverick, Banshees of Inisherin, a bunch of other ones as well. So
yeah,
so we're gonna get into all of those as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a fun season, a fun year. It really is. A
lot of good movies.
Yeah, there is gonna be a lot of good movies. Movies that once again, I would have never seen either of these movies, and because of we're doing this, actually puts up my mind to artsy movies, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know why is it me, but looks like I have a cross on my head, on my forehead. I don't know. Am I a devil or something?
Just shadows.
Yeah.
Right. Mardi Gras coming up. Yeah. Ash Wednesday should be coming up, I think. But cool. Like I said, man, this one is just hard to talk about, especially two guys talking about this subject. It's really rough. But with that being said, we want to, if you're watching live, we're going to hang out. We're going to talk a little bit more. If you're watching on replay, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're also doing a contest for our 2023 Oscar movies. So the link is in the description. If it's live, it's pinned to the side. And you can vote for your best picture and all the other categories. I think we're doing the top like 13-ish categories. Not everything, because that'd be way too long. But we're doing some of the bigger categories. And then whoever wins, if we get enough people playing in the contest this year, whoever wins, whoever gets the most correct, we'll give a little gift card or something away as a thank you for playing. You
get a autograph post-it note from me or something.
Yeah,
just like right now.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, we'll do like a little gift card, like a little gift card or something like that. So click that link, join in on the contest of your predictions of that. But do that, and then we will see you guys next Friday with 2 more movies. And throughout this whole ordeal, we're gonna bring some guests on. So we're gonna have some guests before the end of it all. So that's gonna be super fun as well. But that is it for that one. Like I said, if you're live, stick around. We are gonna hang out. But that is it for Women Talking. We'll see you guys in the next video.
See you later.
It's so hard to talk about it, man.
It is. It's very difficult.
It's very difficult. But we had Lewis Berry said Michelle should win the Oscar, but Kate is great too. I 100% agree. Michelle should win it. But the biggest snub so far was Mia Goth not getting nominated for Pearl.
I haven't seen Pearl.
Michelle. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's not as scary as I want it to be, but it's very horror. Maybe I'll pop in. It's a weird show. Dude, come on in, man. We're just hanging out right now. So
yeah. Well, I just realized, is it really 11:12?
Yeah, you gotta get going.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, I hear you. And it was a super late start. Usually we'll try to start more on time at 9:00 on Fridays. If not, maybe a little bit sooner on Fridays. But yeah.
But yeah, this is fun, and I hope next week is better movies. Yeah, I know you sent me the list on Facebook Messenger, so just gotta
Yeah.
Go out for that. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a good one. I really have to go because I have to get up.
Yeah.
We have to get up early. Yeah.
All right, I mean. So, all right. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit longer.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See if anybody hanging out. Cool. Later, Fredo.
Bye-bye.
All right. Just me now. But yeah, Michelle should win the Oscar. But she should win, man. That I don't know if it's a a spoiler for my ratings going forward. Everything Everywhere All at Once is my favorite movie of the year. It definitely was. She was great. Everyone else was great in that. Ah, man, like she should definitely win it. She should definitely win it. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh. And I know Derpy's in here. I'm crying. Pedro's killing it. I recorded it. I haven't watched SNL in years. Pedro's on it, and it's a lot of I'm sure he's gonna do a lot of Mandalorian stuff. He's gonna do a lot of Last of Us stuff as well. If he does a Game of Thrones reference, that might be good. Especially if Bella Ramsey comes in and does something, that'd be kind of funny too. But yeah, I'll bring this up, show you guys. Preview. So for the voting stuff, get the little voting thing here. So you can pick who is. You just put your email in just so we know who's playing. But we got all your best pictures here. All Quiet on the Western Front. We're gonna be doing that soon. Avatar, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Tars, Maverick, Triangle of Sadness. I haven't seen it. I'm super excited to see it. Super excited to see it. What Brian say? He should do Hulk Hogan as the babysitter. Oh, Pedro, because that's basically what he is. Was it the Babysitter Commando or what was it called? So our last Friday before we get into the Oscars, we're actually gonna kind of, me and Fredo and then whoever else wants to join us, we'll probably talk about a lot of these other categories. Leading role, Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, Brendan Fraser, Paul Mescal from the After Sun, I don't know that, and Bill Neely, I don't know. I think Brendan Fraser should win that. Actor supporting role, Fabelmans, Barry, was it Keegan? I don't know. Yeah. Then we got actress in leading role. A lot. I think Michelle Yeoh should win it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give it to Kate Blanchett though, which I don't think deserves it, but whatever. Angela Bassett. It just don't even bother. Just give it to her already. Like, she deserves it. Like, everyone else here is pretty awesome. That's it. Her. Like, come on. Like, that's not even a question. Animated film. This one's good. We got Pinocchio. Marcel with Shell with shoes on, Puss in Boots. The Sea Beast turning red. I think I've seen all of these except for the Sea Beast. So I might check the Sea Beast out. Cinematography. You got a bunch. Costume design. Babylon, Elvis, Everything Always, Miss Harris Goes to Paris. For me, it should be really between Black Panther and Everything Everywhere. Probably more Black Panther because that has actual more costumes. Like everywhere. It wasn't that many costumes like that, but directing got some cool ones in there. So here, makeup and hairstyling. Black Panther, All Quiet, Batman, Elvis, The Whale. How is Everything Everywhere not on this list? How? Like that was so much like makeup and hairstyles, and especially the main like character, the daughter. Like, she was all these different kind of looks to her. I was like, what? And I know one of our viewers, what's her name, Cookie, she put it out, and like, wait a minute, I'm like, and that's when I looked up, like, how is that? I don't know, but the Black Panther Lift Me Up song is up for music original song. I mean, I don't know. Visual effects. I mean, is there any other way that Avatar, like, come on, Avatar is going to win it. Avatar is going to win all across visual effects. I mean, it literally changed how people did visual effects. So the Whale is going to win makeup and hairstyling, probably just because of what they did with Brendan Fraser. Like, they completely changed that man's look, which was insane, But yeah, I can see Elvis winning it too, because it's Elvis. Like, oh, they had the Elvis hair and all that stupidness, but I think the Whale should win it. But also, Everything Everywhere should be on this list and should win it, in my opinion. But yeah, so we only got what was that, like 12 or 13 or something like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So click the link, go vote. You can win a gift card. So should be fun. But that is it, I think, for this one. So we're gonna be doing this on Fridays usually, not on Saturdays. It was kind of a weird, crazy beginning of February for me and Fredo. So it is what it is. But tomorrow morning, me and Brian and some other people are gonna be on. Hopefully, Brian. We're gonna be on the Dynasty Pylon. Link is in the description. We're gonna talk about some football a little bit. Yeah, and then after that, we are going to join the House of Nerd show, and we're going to talk about some James Gunn stuff and maybe some comic books with those guys. So make sure you go check them out tomorrow as well. But yeah, that is it, man. I'm gonna go watch this SNL stuff and get ready for bed because Derpy's like, y'all missing Daddy Pascal on SNL right now. So I'm gonna go watch Daddy Pascal. Do that. Yep. Football and nerd stuff. Yeah, that's a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday. But cool. That is it. Thank you for everyone hanging out. This one was a little weird because these movies were probably. I wanted to get these out of the way because I knew either one or both were going to be bad, and one was bad, the other one was good. Just hard to talk about. At least for me, it's just like, yeah. It's but we'll definitely get into some better conversations with like Avatar and Top Gun, and when we get some of the guests on and stuff like that. So but these were 2 movies on the list. All right, but that is it for us. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you go vote for your Oscar winners right there. But that is it. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We will see you on Monday with the review of Knock at the Cabin, which is going to be a fun one, and the next episode of Last of Us on Monday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 700. Let's get there hopefully this weekend. But appreciate everybody. We'll see you guys in the next video. Later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.